Okay, so just a little bit of background here. I've just completed an exercise from the Makers Boot Camp. Now I'm in the pre-course section. I'm in the final week of that. It was four weeks of working through Ruby and getting really comfortable with the command line. And it's what's this week? Yeah, so next week we'll start. But this exercise, the last one, and I've just finished it, is it's called Student Directory. So we build a program out in Ruby, and then we're executing all of the commands in the command line. Now, what we're expected to do is create a student directory that will let you input students, their name, age, and the cohort they're in. But what takes it to the next level is we then add filters to that, and then we have the ability to save it and load it from the computer. So you'll actually be able to persist data. Quite often we've done exercises where you run code and as soon as you close the program, that's it. So it's just taken us to the next level, which is about right. So I understand we're going to be getting into databases. So when we start, so that's going to be useful. So let's get in and see what we've done. So CD projects, student directory. I'll just show you the files we've got. So now when we started out, we actually only had one. We had directory.rb, and now I've added a few more parts to that as well. If you notice, I've broken that down. I'm not 100% certain how to break down properly a standard Ruby file at the app at the moment. So I've kind of taken a SAS approach here, if you can see, but it works, and we've managed to require them all in, so it just made it a little easier. But let's run this program. So Ruby directory.rb. Now I have the option to, at this stage, enter a file name and it will load it. But as you can see, I don't have any files yet with regard to that saving stuff. So we save them as CSV files. So let's just start. We can see our interactive menu: input, show the students, save the list to a file, load the list, and exit. So let's start entering some people. Start with myself. So I'm Joe, 42, from London, and I'm in the October 2022 cohort. Now we have one student, singular there. Let's just run that. Okay, we can see that doesn't do anything to us. Makes us go again till we get it right. Let's say no. Let's add Ellie, who's going to be 35. She's going to be from Manchester. She can be in the cohort before. 2 students, plural there. Let's add one more. Say James, we'll make him 26. He can be from London as well. He'll be in the cohort before. That's it, 3 students. So if we finished, let's see what happens when we click yes. Just takes us back to the interactive menu. So, we should see that those people have actually gone in. So let's see, 2, show the students. Now we could filter them by start letter they start with, the number of letters in the name, and also filter out to only show either the age, birthplace, or cohort. But to start with, there you go, there are all of them. I didn't do any of the filters. All of those people, all their information, with 3 great students there. Okay, so let's do it again, but filter this time. So first one, actually, because we've got Joe and a James, let's do a capital J. We'll keep that one as is, but this time let's just say the birthplace. And there you go. So it's got both Joe, myself and James, but it only shows our birthplace this time. But notice the line underneath says overall we have 3 great students. So it says overall. So even though we've filtered and shown 2, we're actually highlighting that there are more students. Okay. So tell you what, we need to save these students before we do anything else. Enter a file name. Let's call it student.csv. That's the file type we need to save to. And there we go, feedback. Saved 3 students to student.csv. Okay, let's exit the program. So if I start up again, so this is where I said you could enter a name. So let's just see what happens. So if I don't let's get it wrong. So we've got student.csv. Let's say we went for data.csv. I couldn't remember what we had. And it tells me that we don't have that. Sorry, data.csv doesn't exist. So in that case, then let's just double check nothing did load. We'll go show the students. And it says we've got no students because we haven't loaded any. So 4, let's load the list from a file. Now that was, the actual one was student.csv. And there we go, loaded 3 students from student.csv. So let's add someone else to that list. Let's add Pam, and she can be 36 from Brighton, and it's been my cohort, the October one. There we go. So we clearly loaded them, even though we didn't go through and show again, because we can see we've added 4. We've got an extra student. We've got 4 students now. So let's say we are finished. And I want to highlight to you that we really are saving to different files here. So let's exit. Okay, so this time, so data.csv is the current one. But if I go back and do student.csv, now that was the file we saved that only had 3 students in it. We saved a new one to data that had 4. And that's what we've got. It said loaded 3 students from student.csv. Let's just double check that. Yes, there you go. So that was the file that only saved, we did the save before with 3 people. So there you go. So it was a really good task in the sense they got us to really think about creating loops, making sure, as you saw, if I enter, let's try, if I enter 5, for example, I don't know what you mean, try again. So they made sure that we were entering correct information, getting a filter there as well. So yeah, so looking forward to the course now. This has been really good, got me quite comfortable with the command line now. And yeah, there we go, done.